there is a question most of us have grappled with. Why does our sense of self-worth sometimes feel so fragile, even when we appear to have accomplished so much on the outside? You might achieve milestones, receive compliments, yet a deep inner whisper constantly doubts your true value, as if confidence is like shifting sand that always slips through your fingers, no matter how hard you try to hold on. The paradox lies in the fact that this erosion often doesn't come from major failures or public criticism, but from the seemingly harmless mental and behavioral habits we perform daily. Habits that have become the default language of our minds to the point where we no longer recognize their destructive power. So, have you ever paused to listen to the silent dialogue happening in your own mind and realize that you might be the architect of your own downfall? To understand this, we need to delve into the mechanism of so-called performance-based self-esteem, a psychological framework where self-worth becomes conditionally tied to constantly achieving results and receiving external validation. This model, studied in cognitive psychology, creates a dangerous loop. Each time you complete a goal, you get a dose of dopamine and temporary affirmation, but immediately afterward, your mind sets a new, higher standard, and your self-worth is threatened again if you don't meet it. This not only puts you on a never-ending treadmill of needing to prove yourself, but also makes you vulnerable to a subtle habit, selective upward social comparison. You don't compare yourself to the whole picture of others. You compare your own backstage, full of struggles and insecurities, to the polished, curated performance others display publicly on social media. Each time you scroll past those brilliant images of success, your subconscious doesn't see it as inspiration, but as implicit evidence of your own inadequacy. This action reinforces a negative cognitive schema, deep-seated thought patterns, that you are not enough, and that all your achievements are merely temporary luck or fraud, a phenomenon widely known as imposter syndrome. Another, deeper angle lies in the habit of invalidating your own emotions. Imagine a day when you feel exhausted and disappointed. Instead of acknowledging and processing that feeling, you immediately berate yourself. Why am I so weak? Others can do so much more. This act, called emotional suppression or emotional self-invalidation, is a defense mechanism that seemingly makes you stronger, but is actually a direct attack on your confidence. By denying your authentic emotional experience, you are sending a powerful message to your subconscious. Your feelings are invalid, your needs are unimportant, and your true self is not worthy of being heard. Over time, this creates a split between the presenting self, the person you show outwardly, and the true self, the person you feel inside. This split in identity theory is the root of deep insecurity because you are living a defensive life, always fearing that your true nature will be exposed and rejected. Genuine confidence does not come from always feeling positive, but from trusting that you have the internal resources to face and contain all your own emotional states. Finally, consider the seemingly innocuous habit of avoiding situations that cause small insecurities. It could be not asking a question in a meeting for fear of sounding foolish, declining a new opportunity for fear of not being good at it right away, or constantly apologizing for your presence and opinions. Each of these avoidance behaviors, based on the behavioral model of conditioned avoidance, is a small self-indictment. It reinforces the belief that the perceived threat, shame, judgment, failure, is unbearable and that you are incapable of facing it. Psychologist Albert Bandura spoke of self-efficacy, the belief in one's own ability to complete tasks and achieve goals. This belief is not built by resounding successes, but by countless times facing small challenges, taking calculated risks, and realizing that even if the outcome is not perfect, you are still okay. Each time you step back, you are not just missing an external opportunity, you are eroding the fundamental belief in your own ability to handle life. Confidence, therefore, is not an immutable trait that you either have or don't have, but a muscle memory formed through countless small choices. The choice between facing or evading, between accepting or judging yourself, between trusting or denying your feelings. So, what is the insight here? Perhaps confidence is never truly destroyed by major external events. It leaks out, bit by bit, through the small cracks we ourselves create every day, through unconscious internal dialogues and self-limiting behaviors. This gives us an incredible freedom of responsibility. If we can silently undermine it, then we can also silently rebuild it. The starting point is not with grand declarations about oneself, but by neutrally observing those mental habits, recognizing the voice of comparison, stopping the act of emotional invalidation, and courageously stepping into those small spaces of discomfort. True confidence, ultimately, is trust in oneself, not because you always succeed, but because you have learned to be with yourself, even in the most uncertain, disappointing, and vulnerable moments. It is the realization that your core value lies not in what you achieve, but in the full and authentic presence you bring to your own journey.